this. Okay. Fine. I'm already in. Take me. Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. Mumble. Fine. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm on the air now. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Here we go. Back to AnyLogic. Okay. So, what I'd like you to do here is to start a new model. This will be called new model, and this model is going to capture aspects of mobility and infection spread. Okay, the units of this model will be days. Okay, so it's going to be on the order of days that we're going to capture, and we are going to use this model to explore several different issues in the context of our work. So here we go. So this is going to be finish here. So it's going to be in days, and there we go. Okay. Okay. So within this model, I'm going to lead you through a set of exercises which are going to be a little bit delicate up front. Okay. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I made a mistake. The units are hours. I was getting some slow response in my notes here. The units are hours. So go to the model as a whole and go back to hours. If you change these units quickly after creating it, it's not a big deal. Once you start adding elements, you have to be much more careful, because if there's any residual element that uses the old dimension, it can cause you grief. So here you'll go to the model as a whole and change it to hours. I apologize for that. I changed this model a little bit. Okay, so let's go to main. I would like to add in a parameter here that we haven't used before. It's going to be called population size. Okay. If we add a parameter in main, this is a parameter that can be changed for different scenarios, different experiments. And I'd like you to set this to be an integer parameter, and it's going to have a default of 100. Okay, 100 individuals. Next, I would like to go to the project, and I would like to add an agent type called home with a capital H, as it described homeness in the model. Okay, capital HOME. Say finish. Here we go. It's home, and we are going to go add a representation to that. Home should open here. Go to the palette. If you go down, ladies and gentlemen, to the picture area of the palette, you will find several things, and one of them will be a house. I'd like you to go set the house there, and I would like you to adjust it a little bit so it's a little bit smaller than its normal size. Okay, so try to make it one unit smaller. You can engage in frobbing behavior like that to make it a little bit smaller there, because we're going to have these scattered over the map. Okay, so we added a representation here. Next, in the palette, when we're still editing home, I'd like you to go to the agent, and I'd like you to drag in a parameter, and this parameter is going to be called location. Oop, location. Okay, location. Great. And the type of this parameter is going to be other. It's not going to be on that list, and it's going to be point, capital P-O, capital P, lowercase o-I-N-T. Okay? We're going to go through a very similar thing with location and with an icon for the next class, which is going to be clinic. The reason I'm defining them in this order is it turns out we're going to have a person later who needs to know about their home. And so we want the homes to be predefined before the people agents. That's why I'm doing them in this particular order. So I'd like you to go here, and I'd like you to define a new agent type, and this will be called clinic with a capital C, okay? And here, we're going to go pick at a picture, okay? You could save this model, and I'm going to go down here. There's going to be a 3D objects palette down at the bottom, just below pictures in the palette. And I'd like you to go to buildings, and I'd like you to drag in like building 1, okay? And do I want to resize it? No, I don't want to. Oh man, okay. Mumble. Yeah. Let me. That's the top view. This is the side view. Yeah, maybe I should resize it. Okay, so let me. I didn't remember this thing, but I'm going to drag it in here, and it's going to ask, do I want to resize it? Yeah, it doesn't help much. Okay, fine. I will change it to be 25%, or actually 10% of its actual size. Okay. Oh, hey. Oh man. Okay, 10%. There we go. And we're going to. Okay. I can frob it in limited ways. Okay, fine. 10%. Okay. So I dragged it in from buildings. This is going to be a clinic. And next, I would like to go add in a parameter called what? Called what? Location, just as we did earlier. Location, and this location here will have the same sort of thing, other, and then point. Okay, capital P-O-I-N-T, just got P capitalized. Finally, so this is as each clinic has a location, each home is a location. Next, we will add in one more, workplace. Agent type workplace. All one word. There we go, workplace, ladies and gentlemen. To set up the workplace, we're going to go down to the pictures palette again, and we will set up a factory here, okay? And we'll make the factory a bit smaller too. There we go, okay? So I went to palette, pictures, dragged in a factory, and this workplace is also, ooh, I just realized a problem, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we went to clinic and we added in location. That actually is wrong. We should go copy that instead to workplace, okay? To workplace here, yeah. We actually don't need it in clinic. We need it in location. Clinics will be separate because we're placing them in actual locations as found by a GIS database, and it takes care of location. So I just copied location. I cut it from clinic and I moved it to workplace. My apologies. That's a wrong thing in my notes. Okay, here we go. Okay, next, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the more unique features of this. So right now we've set up these bunch of types of agents. We are going to actually, let's just, to complete the thought, let's just add a person. We're going to do new, and we're going to say person, capital P, okay. And let's go give them a little picture. Here we have a little person here, and we're going to make them extra small through a sort of frob here. Come on, get down there. Oh man. Okay, maybe you can. Young people tend to be able to engage in better frobbing behavior. So let's go to properties. I'm going to set it for something that's good enough for an old man, which is scale 0.25 here, 0.25 and 0.25, and that will actually engage in scaling. We actually don't need the Z scale. Okay, fine. Okay, so here's person. We're further going to add a couple parameters to person, okay? We're going to add a parameter, here we go, home. So it'll be a home. And guess what type that will be? A reference to what? Home. Okay, next we're going to add a parameter workplace. All lowercase. What sort of type will that have? Workplace. Good. Okay. Excellent. Happy, happy. Okay. And that's all we need for the agents. Okay. Now, this is where it gets very careful. We have to follow this very carefully. Okay. I'd like you to save this model as it is, and I'd like you to go back to projects, and I'd like you to go to main. Okay. We're going to go down main. Now, once we're looking at main, I'd like you to go to the palette. I think I'm going to drag this population size off to the side as I want. I'm going to go to palette, and I'm going to go here to space markup palette. It's this kind of thing here. It looks like a lasso or something down below the presentations one. Okay. Next, I'm going to drag in here a GIS map. Okay. I'm going to drag in a GIS map from space markup. How did I do this? I went to main. I dragged off a parameter just so it wouldn't get in our way. I went to space markup and I dragged in a GIS map into main. Okay. Now, having done that, you can make this map a little bit larger by enlarging it and so on. But you have to realize this map has two modes. The current mode, it's kind of manipulating the shape of the object right now. But if you double click on the map, it goes into a search mode. It goes into a mode where you can interact with the map, okay? And what I'd like you to do here, if you double click on it, you should see a search box up here, okay, at the top, okay? And I would like to click on this search box. Now, on Macs, sometimes you don't see this menu with point and region, and you have to right-click in the search area and then click back in it. On some Macs, I've seen that. But otherwise, I would like you to search, double-click, on the map, so the search box comes up, and click region. We're going to search for a region. And this region, ladies and gentlemen, will be none other than the fair city of Saskatoon. Okay? So we're going to go search for Saskatoon. Now, it turns out, if any international listeners are listening in from countries not shown, you may have to actually, before you do the searching, you may scroll within the map to move around to show your region. This actually works well if you're searching for something that's within the visible areas of the map. If you aren't, you can actually move around before doing the search, for example, okay? But since all of us are here in Saskatoon, and because that's shown here, I'm going to search for the region of Saskatoon, and I'm going to press this button here. And what you'll see is something that surprised me. There's 3 Saskatoons shown. One of them is our fair city, and 2 of them are actually in Europe. One in the UK, and one apparently in Deutschland. So apparently our city has followers even in Niedersachsen in Germany. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, having searched there, I would like to go down here to where it says Census Division number 11, and I would like to right-click here and click at Convert to GIS points or region, okay? And by doing that, what you're going to find is that it actually created a little element. You notice it changed colors here. It changed it to kind of a golden color. A compliment surely to our fair city, but also reflecting the fact that it's remembered it. So it's remembered sort of Saskatoon. within its elements, and that's going to allow it to us to refer to Saskatoon at a later time. Okay. How did I do that? In the search results, I click convert to GIS points regions. Now it's grayed out because I've already done it. Okay. So I found Saskatoon. I created it. It's going to know about Saskatoon within Maine from now on. Okay. Next. Next, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to go and I would like, you notice it also selected it here on the map. Do you see a little circle with Saskatoon? Do you see that? Where Saskatoon? If you scroll in using, I do it with the mouse on my roller ball on my mouse, the roller on my mouse. You could scroll into Saskatoon here, or whatever city that our internet users may be using. So here we go. And I would ask you to do it so you can see the full city, but so it doesn't go outside the elements. Okay, next. I would like to do the following. I would like to go up to the search box and now search, instead of for region, search for point. So again, if you've had a Mac attack and you can't see this, you can right-click perhaps and then click back to see it. If you have a Mac, you can see it. Don't worry about it. But click on point. So now we're going to be searching within Saskatoon. Okay, we're going to search for a clinic within Saskatoon. Okay, here we go. And often we engage in several searches. Okay, and we're going to do that here. So here's a bunch of clinics that are listed, and they vary between emergency clinics, denture clinics, west side clinics, and massage clinics, amongst other things. I would like you to go to the west side clinic, ladies and gentlemen. Right-click on it and say Create Agents at Selected Element, and I want you to select Clinic. Okay, we're going to create an agent for that clinic that will know where it's placed. How did I do that? I went up here, I searched for a point. By so searching, the search results are shown. I went down here, I right-clicked. Instead of saying convert to GIS point region, I went to create agents, and I say do this clinic. I'm going to choose it. And that will allow a clinic to be created. You notice it actually put, under the one that I selected, it actually put a little icon that shows, okay, it created it. Okay, we're most of the way done with this little bit. The next one I want to search for is health, because that isn't all the clinics I want to get. I also want to get different types of health facilities. I want to get here the West Winds Primary Health Center. So I did a search for health. I'm going to go down to West Winds Primary Health Center, and I'm going to say create agents at selected elements, and I'm going to say clinic. Okay, so now I've created a second clinic. How did I do that? I searched for it. I went down here. I right-click, create agents at selected elements, and chose clinic. Finally, I'm going to search, ladies and gentlemen, for hospital. Okay, hospital. And here, I would like you'll see a bunch of the hospitals shown. I'd like you to do this for St. Paul's, create a clinic there too. I'd like you to do it for Royal University Hospital, and I'd like you to do it for City Hospital. We will leave the E-wing expansion of the health science building outside of our designated hospitals, okay? Okay, so now we have a bunch of clinics garnered from various search results around the city. Okay. Now, if you go over, we're going to leave this map now. We actually don't need to kind of engage in further frobbing behavior about it. But what we do need to do is for all of these, I want to group them. So I'm going to drag things out of the way so I can go and select all of these clinics here, okay? I'm just selecting these clinics, the 5 of them here that I created, or the N that I created. I'd like you to right-click on them And I'd like you to say create collection. What did I do? I did the searching. I designated each clinic by creating them as a clinic. I went over and I found them where it created them, whither they went. And I'm going to do create collection. And it's going to be called clinics, ladies and gentlemen. Clinics. Okay? And with these clinics, it knows where they're located. I mean, it's actually, after all, it's shown them on here. We don't have to tell them their location. They know what it is. Okay? Okay, we're just about done here. Just about done with this first portion of the model. Why don't we run this model just to sort of see what we see. We're going to go run it here, run the default simulation. And what we will see is a map of Saskatoon. And we will see here various clinics on that map, superimposed on that map, right? And you can see there's actually quite a lot of detailed information if you scroll around here, information at GIS level. And each of these represents a certain clinic. So here's City Hospital. Oop, it doesn't display it nicely, but each of them is in there. Okay? Okay, great. We're just going to finish one other thing here. Okay? And we'll be able to go for the night. Okay, firstly, I would like you to drag in, ladies and gentlemen, a population of homes. So how do we create a population? We drag in the class, and I'd like you to call these homes. I drag them in from projects into main, and we're going to call them home. This is going to be a population of agents, so make sure when you drag it in, you set it to be a population, and its size is going to be population size divided by 3. So there's going to be on average 3 people per home. Okay? So population size is the number of people, and this is going to be 1/3 of that. It's posited to be 1 home for about 3 people. Next, I would like you to drag in here a set of workplaces. Okay, workplaces. And they're going to be called workplaces. It's going to be a population of agents. And the initial number of agents is population size divided by 10. And then we are going to set up a bit of properties for each of these. For homes, I would like you to do the following, and the same thing is going to be followed for workplaces. So I'm going to do them as a pair. For homes, click on the homes population, which I dragged in. From there, I set it to be a population of agents of size, population size divided by 3. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for the location, why does it say location here? Where did that come from? How does it know to ask for the location? Yeah, it's a parameter. It's a parameter within the home, right? It's called location. So ladies and gentlemen, for the home's location, I want you to do the following. I want you to say this dot Saskatoon dot, that was the region we created earlier, Saskatoon, dot random point inside, and just call it with a begin paren end so it doesn't need any information to do its job. I'd like you to copy that text. This.saskatoon.random point inside begin paren end. Next, for workplaces, I'd like you to go and do the same thing for the location of workplaces. Each of those, in contrast to clinics, which have known locations, each of the workplaces and each of the homes are going to be at random locations within Saskatoon, specifically in Saskatoon. Hence, we say random point inside. And finally, for each, and this is the final thing here we're doing today, for each, I'd like you to go, so for homes, I'd like you to go down to initial location. I'd like you to go, say, place agent in the latitude, longitude, and it is going to be self. In other words, for my location, for latitude, dot get latitude. Okay. Self dot location dot get latitude. Okay. And then for longitude, self dot not latitude, and dot get longitude. Okay, longitude. There we go. So you may ask, what is this self? The self is just the agent being created. So when agents are created, first we assign here their parameters, and then for each one we ask what's its latitude, longitude, and this is just saying for myself, this, because this is in main, this refers to main, but self refers to the agent being created here. And so we're saying for my location, get the latitude for that. Same thing for the longitude. So that's for the homes. And basically, we have the exact same thing going on for the workplace. We go to initial location. We go to latitude, longitude. We set the latitude to be self.location.getLatitude and the longitude to be self.location.getLongitude. Okay. Okay. Just like you to check that it compiles, that it's a happy camper. What did I do here? Just again, I went to here. The population size is over 3. The location is the random point inside. Initial location is at the latitude, longitude for this latitude and that longitude, and the same thing for workplaces, except it's population size divided by 10 for the size. Okay, so let's run it, and then we will be free. Okay, here we go. And here we see homes. Here we see workplaces. They are scattered within the territorial boundaries of Saskatoon, and each of them is associated with a location. If we go to the homes, for example, that specifies some latitude, longitude. Here we go. And reflecting Saskatchewan's flat character, the altitudes are all identically 0. Okay. So here, ladies and gentlemen, we have latitudes and longitudes associated with points in space. Some of these agents are clinics to which agents are going to go. Some are homes, some are workplaces, and the agents are going to go back and forth from homes to workplaces and vice versa. And when they get sick, they're going to go to clinics. Okay? Clinics are at fixed locations. Workplaces and homes are scattered around. These ones look to be on White Swan Drive, perhaps. This one seems to be a house at the University of Uncertain. Maybe it's a dorm. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you very much. We will continue with this on Tuesday, adding infection spread and adding in aspects of movement over space and having networks that link people up to the people nearby them at their home. And then when they leave home and go to workplace, at their workplace. And they'll go be doing these different networks. Okay? All within a geographic area, and they will move within that geographic area along streets and other thoroughfares. Thanks very much, and I will post this model for anyone who had trouble following the details of it.